And now, joining us in the studio is member of Knesset for the Religious Zionist Party and chairman of the Knesset Constitution Law and Justice Committee, Simcha Rothman. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, some tough questions. You had the Knesset Constitution Law and Justice Committee, which for the better part of the past year has been pushing forward the legal reform here in Israel. You know, this in turn saw mass protests, deep divisions within the country. Some critics today are saying that this internal division is one of the factors that led Hamas to feel empowered to attack on October 7th. How do you respond to this?
I think that we will have all the time in the world to find out, to investigate what were the causes for Hamas motivation, what was the causes for the lack of intelligence or the lack of preparedness in the army. We will have all the time for this after we will beat Hamas, after we'll finish this war victorious, and we will eliminate Hamas. I think many people will have different answers. That's not the time for this kind of questions. Of course, not criticizing you, the questions that arise from other people. We have to focus on two things and two things only, which is actually one thing: unity and victory.
I agree with you on being united and absolutely on being victorious, but yet a lot of people here in Israel are really looking to the government to take some sort of responsibility. Do you, as a member of the coalition, as a member of the government, take responsibility?
So I think, of course, everyone. I heard a lot of members of this government and coalition, each and every one of them in their own sphere. When you are in power, it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to be prepared. It's your responsibility to prevent, and it's your responsibility to fix. Again, we can talk a lot about what kind of errors brought us to this situation. There is a lot to be said on it. Again, I don't think that's the time. Stating the obvious, that the government is responsible to what's happening while the government is in power, I think that goes without saying.
Now, looking back, I do want to ask about the legal reform. Do you feel that it was a mistake to pursue? And I'll ask as well as the present and looking forward. So, you know, looking forward, Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that in a press conference last night that the reform is now not on the agenda. Once this war is over, will you be looking to put the legal reform back on the agenda?
The same way I don't want to speak about the past now. Again, not because we don't have what to say, but that's not the time. I think it's also not the time to talk about what will happen after. It's 100% for certain, and Prime Minister Netanyahu said so, but even without, it goes without saying that when we have this a unity government that is focused on the two things that I said, unity and victory, we will not deal with anything that is controversial whatsoever. That is not connected to the war and to this unity, and judicial reform included. So that's, again, that goes without saying, stating the obvious. But what will happen after? That's like the investigation, like many other things. One thing I do hope. I do hope you did speak about the division in the public. I don't think we need to return to that. We need to return everyone. I expect nothing else from ideological players, political players, to pursue their ideology and political views. That's what they were elected for. That's what we were elected for. It's supposed to go there. I do hope that if there will be one thing that we will take from this war that was forced upon us, is the need to have better ways to talk to each other, better ways to have public discourse. everyone, including everyone, should think about it.
And so speaking of that and the present and what we should be doing now, because I understand that you're also involved there's an effort to close down Al Jazeera. So what can you tell us about that?
Moral clarity must be stated in a very clear way. The fact that someone is holding a card saying press does not allow him to support terror, does not allow him to give in the locations of troops to our enemies, does not allow him to support Hamas or any other terrorist organization. They should be arrested, their offices here should be closed, and I think this for many years, the state of Israel, I think mistakenly, looked and said on issues of supporting terror, it's complicated. It's not complicated. It's very clear. When you see this kind of evils that we all saw, when you see this kind of videos that we all saw, there is no complexity. Either you're on the good side or on the bad side. We see it in the world, we see it in the diplomatic arena, and we need to see it also on the way we treat different media outlets that for some reason got some kind of waiver from the need to have a very clear stand. You cannot support terror. Full stop.
Absolutely. Good versus evil, unity above all else, and victory. Simcha Rothman, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you very much.